Hi everybody, next episode of Sziget Run, and this is April. Spring is here, so we would like to get fit, to look good on the beach and feel healthy. So we came down for another Sziget Run because it's the first Saturday morning of April. What
First
happened
Saturday
today?
of every month. What happened today? This is our first day where we used our new system. We have our new website, morphyrun.com, operating, and just looking at the tickets, we had 68 people show up this morning, which is quite good compared to last month of 12 runners, I think.
Yeah, and it's probably because the weather is much nicer. It's not that cold, even though it was raining.
Yeah, last month was snowing, so
Yeah.
you'd hope we get a few more people out. It wasn't as nice as I was hoping for. Walking outside today was a bit of rain. I think may have scared off a few people. Looking online, we had 101 people who said they were going to be joining us today, so maybe a few people got scared off. But I think we're slowly increasing our numbers again, and with the whole Vivicito coming up, I think lots of people are already fit and see it as a good opportunity to test out their 5K speed.
What was the... I was going to ask who was the first and what was the time, but I think, as I remember, there wasn't any record breaking today.
No record breaking, but definitely still fast times.
It's pretty fast, as I remember.
If I pull it up, I think the fastest was around about 17 minutes, so 17 or 18 minutes. We'll see.
Because the website is running
That's
nicely.
right. Everything works now. So here, maybe not. That's right.
Is it today's run?
Why is it not up? Might have to edit some video here. Why is it not up?
It's not today's run. It's not here.
Yanko, can I have a look at your phone? Finish.
Do you not need to write down on paper, as you said?
No, you don't need to, because it's being done. Maybe this is maybe the time's out here.
But it's February anyway, so it's not much either.
Yeah, don't know. Looks like we have a problem.
But you can see the time there if you want to see, or we can just talk about something else, and then you can cut this part.
Yeah.
So the first one was still pretty fast.
Yeah, looking 17 minutes 16 was our fastest. It was Marco Chopin. I think this is the first time he came running today. I think he's only I think talking to him, as I remember, he said he's only just arrived in Budapest 2 days ago and found Sziget Run. So it's quite impressive that people find us this fast. I need it.
Yeah, I need it too.
That's fine. I think that's fine in a sense that we have seen already the first one. It's under 1 minute from the record, so it's 40 something seconds away from the record. Do you think anyone soon could break the 16:30?
I can't see why not. Looking on social media every day, you see different people in Hungary doing like sub 17 runs. Our record is 6:30. Looking, there's a young kid in Paris from Hungary who just did a 5.5 kilometer cross country run with hills and stuff in 16:15. So
Wow.
I can't see why this record's safe.
Have you thought about inviting people, especially to break records?
I'd like to, but it's just finding these people. Having seen this guy through the week run that time in Paris, I did a bit of a search on his name, and nothing obvious came up in Facebook, or else I would have tagged him. But we'd really like to find these fast people, because I think we're a pretty good event for people like that. But at the same time, I think we're a pretty good event for even people who are slower, who just want to come and really use Sziget Run as their goal to
Yeah.
beat 5K, because 5K for some people can be real simple, but 5K can be tough as well. And I think we're that happy medium where we can really encourage people to get out and run.
I always say before the runs, when I talk to people and tell them the details, what they should know about the run, that they can come down every month and run for their own time or their personal best, and they can do the training between the Sziget runs and then see how much they improve. So for me, that would be the most logical thing to use Sziget Run for.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, having spoken at one of your events last week, we're coming across runners who constantly like ask us, send us messages and say, do you know running groups and things like this? And the fact is, there are so many running groups around Budapest. Perhaps it could be a good idea to create a running group within Sziget Run, but all it takes is looking at Instagram and you see the different groups around who lots of people are getting noticed, lots of people are getting out there and running. So really, there's no shortage of people that you can get in contact.
Do you think it's about the number of groups, or is it about the quality of groups? Because it could be hundreds of running groups, but there must be a reason why someone chooses a particular group, and it's it could be beyond that obvious fact that it's close to my house or something like that. But it should be something that motivates them to go to that particular group.
To me personally, I think the biggest problem with running groups is the scared factor of, will I be fast enough for this group? Because nobody wants to get left behind. And I think this is the biggest thing holding back the size of running groups, is the fact that people are not as willing to join a running group because they feel they're going to be too fast, they're going to be too slow, and this is what really limits people in going to running groups.
Yeah.
For example, I see there's a new website popped up called Weliati Run. I see they've been getting around about 7 or 8 people on their runs. They have a new webpage. It's a group which I've considered running with myself, but
Maybe it's getting tired.
Yeah, this Weliati Run, I see there's lots of people who like to start up running groups, but I think the problem is this keeping runners who fit within their pace ranges and convincing people to come join. I think this is the tough thing with running groups. Whereas with Sziget Run, we're a little bit different, where people run at their own pace. Chances are we attract that many runners that somebody will be around your same pace, so you won't be first, you won't be last.
And what about the Sziget Runners, the group attached to Sziget Run page?
Yeah, well Sziget Run isn't a running group as such. We don't organise dates where we meet up and go running, but Sziget, why not? I guess we're really looking for somebody who, it's something that I wouldn't do because I'm stuck running with, I wouldn't say stuck, but I run with my daughter, and I think it's quite difficult for some people to come join me at my pace or to do what I do. But I think what Sziget Run is used for at the moment is primarily to get our runners in contact with each other so they can organise themselves. And if somebody wanted to, they could easily be the lead person.
Yeah. So is it open position for anyone who is interested in leading a running group?
Yeah, definitely. This is what it's there for. It's the group's quite quiet, actually. I do a bit of talk on it, but it's really there just so that our runners can get in contact with each other and show them what they're doing. And if they wanted to create their own group, that's what it's there for.
It feels like it's time for an announcement that anyone that feels like wants to run regularly and would like to lead a group where he or she can help people to get more fit or just get you can cut this
Yeah.
bit. So anyone who wants to help people to get more fit or just join a group to get into a community, to have a good time, have fun, meeting like-minded people, then now this is your time and your chance to stand up and say, I would like to lead this group and I would like to organize runs in a running group. And those people could challenge themselves on the monthly Sziget runs.
Well, that's the thing. The group's already there. It has close to 200 people in it. It's kind of like a lot of the hard work's been done. It's just waiting for somebody.
Yeah.
I think to get in contact, and I think it would be a good start if you're that sort of minded person who is up for running groups, to put your hand up and say, let's go.
It feels like in films, this is the point where the hero appears and say like, here I am. I was born to do this job, and now I'm starting my duty. So that's why I always say it's no such thing as I can't do things and there's no opportunities, blah 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 blah, because you can create your own opportunity, and if you look around just like this, here's an opportunity, so you can take it. And talking about confidence, that some people might feel like they would like to do it, but they're not confident enough because they haven't done it before. Well, I could probably say that you didn't know how to do an organized run before you did your first, did you?
Definitely not. And this is what it's grown into. It's grown into More Fit Run, Sziget Run, and the thing is, you never know where it leads. You could turn into the face of Budapest running.
Exactly. Like when we first met, I was just coming down to the Sziget volunteering and had no idea that we're gonna sit in coffee shops after runs and talk about what happened and how could this thing be developed and how people could join. But here we are doing blogs, doing videos, and who knows what else is coming.
Yeah.
So what's for next month?
Next month, looking at the calendar. Next month is April. What comes after April? May.
May, yeah, normally it's May.
May, it's going to be May 5th will be our run. It'll be game on as usual. Next week will be Vivi Sitter, so really there should be lots of fit people about who have trained for the last few months. So normally April is our big one. So, but I think we can beat April.
Yeah, we can beat April. How about a challenge? How about a challenge to the runners that anyone who comes down, why don't you bring one more person? Why don't you bring your friend, your mom, your brother,
Your daughter,
sister,
your son. We
That
saw.
was, do you remember that one time when there was a 12-year-old guy who came in 5th?
Yeah, 5th, and he ran a time of like 21 or 22 minutes.
Yeah.
So
That was really, really surprising that he was just beating the majority of the runners.
and like just throughout the week, I received an email from a lady asking if it's fine for her. I think she was a 8-year-old daughter or something to come join with her. And the thing is, if you look in our policies on our webpage, we say sure, there's no problem with children coming. Like we encourage children to run. The only thing is, we ask you to be with your child at all times.
Yeah.
But apart from that, like we really want to see young kids come up and perhaps start their running career at a Sziget run and find their love for running like we do.
And thanks to the software, now is possibility to measure the youngest personal best, the oldest personal best, so anyone could be the leader of their age group.
So we have different filters where you can filter by age group, under 16s, 16-25, all the way through to the above 65. So we really want to recognise anybody who's really achieving. So we try to find these sort of key ranges to really find these people who are doing well each month. Looking at the webpage now, for some reason our achievements haven't shown up. It's something that we're still working on. Perhaps it's something that's delayed, but yeah, achievements is what we really want to see people achieving each month and recognise these people. So I guess keeping with achievements and things like this, we have one runner called Opitz Gabor Opitz, however you say it in Hungary.
Yeah.
It's something that's only just come to our attention since creating this webpage. Since creating the new webpage is if you were to click on his profile, he's actually been running like with Sziget Run for close to 2 years now. Where I was talking to him today, he's only like really missed 2 or 3 events in the last 2 years. So when you look at his profile page, he has a really nice graph, which is like continual, where it's kind of interesting because you can see in the winter months he kind of like slows down, I guess, less training. Become summer again, he's getting slowly faster each summer. So it's one of these things where we're a good utility to kind of like come and judge your achievements throughout the years as well. And this kind of like brings me on to my next point is also you might see on our Facebook page and on Instagram we have a bit of few different videos where it's kind of like a few interesting sort of like time-lapse videos of running, but we don't want to make it about us. We want to make it about you. And this week we're looking to do our first interview with one of our runners, which is Gabor Opitz, the guy who I was just talking about. And I think it would be interesting to hear from him his reasons for running with Sziget Run, and you might be able to connect and realise that you run for the same reason, and you might be motivated in the same ways as him. So it's something that we would like to do, more Fit Run Stories, where we come and we talk to you and we hear from you. And I think it would be much more interesting than listening to me talk.
Yeah, I just it was really surprising me too when I first talked to him and he said this was my 26th or something Sziget Run, and I was like, wow, that's interesting, that's impressive. That I could say the same, but I'm not running because I'm helping with the numbers, and it's just actually what you said. It just reminded me that here is everything. Like here is the event. Here is the application, the timer. So all you need to do is just come down and run, and you could see your development, your achievement, and it's all set up for you. All you need to do is just use it. Just use this opportunity to get healthier, to get more fit, to improve your stamina. It's all set up. What would holding you back? Why wouldn't you come down? So come down and run.
Uh-huh. This is the example anyhow. This is Gabor's page. And you can see his graph. It's like, especially again today, it's getting warmer again, it's getting faster. It's kind of like it's a really good tool to like gauge your fitness. And I think this is why we added it, because I think it's really motivating to see your progress throughout the years. And I think it's quite interesting to look at.
I'm curious that if professional or like semi-professional runners have these kind of utilities and these kind of tools to measure their achievement. Maybe they have like those watches and stuff, but this whole infrastructure is just pretty tempting to
the
use.
thing is, with the watches, you can gauge yourself with your like 5K times, but the special thing about Sziget Run is we are that occasion, we're that event where we bring people together. You can easily run by yourself, set your fastest 5K time, but I think what makes Sziget Run special is, like today, we're surrounded by 68 other runners who came for the same reason, and I think that's what makes it special, and I think this is what motivates people to come and join it.
Yeah, and I just can't wait to today's video, because when the first runner crossed the line, then like half minute later, the second came in and the first one just gave a high five to him. It was so nice to see that how it's all about coming together, and it's all about the team and everyone's individual achievement rather than a competition.
And it's quite interesting to see the nationalities who joined us today, because I think first was German, second was Moroccan, third I think was German, but you see people coming across totally exhausted, still smiles on their faces, high fives, shaking hands, and I think it's just a good feeling which we get at Sziget Run.
Yeah. So it's no other option. You gotta come down and meet us and try yourself and feel how it feels to be a part of something nice, something that is growing, something that is creates a community. and you can invite your friends, and you can be a leader of a running group. There's so many opportunities. It's up to you.
And speaking of communities, please give our Facebook page a like. At the moment, we're getting close to 1,900. Let's see if we can get over 2,000 by next month. You might say, what's so what? Likes are just a vanity thing, but for us, it kind of validates what we do. So we'd really like to attract a sponsor. And you might say, well, how's the sponsor going to help me? If we could attract somebody like Nike or... The microphone throwing it out. So you might say, how does a sponsor help me? Is a sponsor could easily, it comes at a bit of an expense personally to myself. So we could pay servers, we could pay the domain registrations, things like this. And another big thing that we'd really like to find a sponsor for is perhaps we could start giving prizes or shirts and things like this away. So perhaps if we could get a shirt sponsor. Something that we'd like to do in the future is to maybe do a lucky draw of people who get a PB each month. At the next run, if they appear, we could have a free shirt. We could have shirts for people who run under sub-20s or sub-25s. So these are all different sort of ideas that we're floating, but we're really in search for a sponsor. So if you have any contacts, drop us a line, send us an email, send us a Facebook message, and hopefully we see our Sziget Run community continually growing and have more reasons to run. So
yeah. So if you are the marketing director of Adidas and Nike Hungary, don't be shy to get in touch with us and sponsor us, because you are welcome.
So until next month, happy running and see you in May.
Keep it fit. Bye.
Peace.